Co-founder of Veracity In Defiance, and I'm going to be interviewing this floor of these people on why they're here and the purpose of their event. So let's go ahead and get a quick introduction to who they are. I'm one of a few online independent networks. We're called Veracity In Defiance, and we just want to find out, who are you guys and why are you here?
All right. Well, we're the Democratic Socialists of America. We're one of the largest multi-tendency socialist organizations in the U.S. What else? I can turn you over to Dustin to talk a little bit more about us.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're from Veracity In Defiance, and we'd like to know who are you guys and why are you here? What's the purpose of you being here?
So we're the Democratic Socialists of America, and we're here at the Socialist Convergence to talk about how to bring the Sanders revolution forward, how to build the grassroots of a real socialist movement, to build a socialist mass movement in this country. Something that fights for democracy, fights for workers' rights, fights for expanding the public sphere into the economy and building democracy from the grassroots up.
And in the long run, what are you expecting?
I think in the long run, what we would like to see is eventually a mass workers' party. But right now, what we want to see out of this is just leftists working together to see, if we can regroup and strategize together,
Thank you very much, then. All right, we're going to be pushing forward and asking all your fellow contemporaries who they are too, so we can get a short story about what they're doing here. This is Kit Cabell, co-founder of Veracity In Defiance, and I'm here with
Justin Harrison. I'm a member of Social Alternative, a local organizer of Socialist Alternative.
All right, and what's the purpose? Why are you here right now, sir?
Right now I'm here because there's a lot of stuff going on in the city. I live in the city, I work in the city, and I organize in the city for social movements. And we have the DNC happening down the street. They're spending millions and millions of dollars for this the circus to nominate a corporate presidential candidate while our schools are being closed, houses are being gentrified. The Democrats have presided over austerity and the deindustrialization of the city. So it's time to fight back. And there's in this space tonight, there's a lot of people coming from all over the country to discuss on the way forward, and we want to be part of that conversation.
All right, now you're with Socialist Alternative, correct?
Yes, Socialist Alternative, yes.
And what's the main goal of Socialist Alternative? What are you guys trying to do?
We're a national organization. We organize in our schools, our workplaces, our unions, wherever we are. We fight for $15 minimum wage. We fight for Medicare for all. We fight against racial violence, and for police accountability, community control of police, and all kinds of issues down the line. That's our job, is to organize. We think in the current political environment that the Bernie Sanders campaign has shown the tremendous opportunity to run independent working class candidates, independent of the corporate politicians. We ran Shama Sawant in Seattle twice, and she won both times. Independent, socialist candidate, no corporate money, independent Democrats, Republicans. We won based on grassroots building, $15 minimum wage, lots of struggles for union rights, housing, and all kinds of other stuff. And we see that opportunity to build in cities across the country right now with the mood around the Sanders campaign.
All right, obviously now that Bernie Sanders is no longer the Democratic nominee, do you feel that there's going to be a growing movement for an independent third party, especially that Americans don't like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? So do you think that there's a chance for Dr. Jill Stein or former Governor Gary Johnson to be on the debate stage because Americans just don't like the two-party choices that's presented to them?
I think there's a possibility. How that plays out is hard to read. I think that the Sanders campaign has shown the potential with the kind of campaign he built on just taking working class donations, $5, $10, $15, $20 donations from ordinary people that were sick and tired of the corporate politicians. It would have been tremendous if he had run independently, and it would have been tremendous if, after we had the circus act we've seen down there, if he had called a convention in August, September to found a new party. And he's not going to do that, it doesn't look like. So then it's up to other forces involved to try to show the way forward. And the best step we can take right now in this election cycle, we think, is to vote for Jill Stein to show support for the demands, to continue the political revolution around demands that Sanders is putting forward. But the hard work of actually building that party is going to happen on the ground, and that's what we're involved in on a daily basis.
Obviously, Americans are growing more and more displeased with the two-party system. Do you think in the future, after this election, that more Americans are going to shift to the Libertarian Party, Green Party, and maybe a Socialist Party?
I think that, as we've seen with Donald Trump's victory at the RNC, there's a huge vacuum of ideas, and that he's filling that vacuum from the right, but he's adopting a lot of the phraseology, putting himself forward as a defender of working class people on TTP and on jobs and stuff like that. That's kind of a farce. but he's able to fill that. And that's kind of a warning to the left. It's a warning to, it's not just a question of independent candidates, it's a question of what program are you going to fight for? Are you going to fight against corporate control of these parties? Are you going to fight against corporate politicians? Are you going to fight against austerity? And are you going to fight unapologetically for working class people on the issues, on $15 minimum wage? The Democrats are fighting on that. On Medicare for all, the Democrats, a huge struggle on that on the party platform down there, right? On all these issues on down the line where we face these struggles on a constant basis in our workplaces, our schools, our communities. And I think, yes, I think there's huge opportunity to build that. And if it's not this election cycle, I think that we have to keep moving forward. So we would encourage everybody to, in November 2nd, put a mark on the ballot for Jill Stein. Not that we uncritically support her. We have our own ideas about how to organize and build, but to register a vote for that program. And then on November 3rd, we keep going forward to organize against Trump and the movement around him.
Obviously, there is a lot of concern about a potential Trump administration and what it's going to represent. But what are your concerns about a potential Clinton administration?
A lot of people are concerned about a Trump administration. I understand that. I think it would be sort of very academic to make the argument that there's no difference. Obviously, Trump is outright racist. He's mobilizing anti-immigrant, hysteria. He's mobilizing racists around him. So we understand why people would vote for Hillary against Trump, hold their nose. At the same time, we have to really ask the question, who has opened up the political space for somebody like Donald Trump? And it's the fact that Democrats have not put forward any solutions to what the problems of working class people face in this country. They've presided over wars. They've presided over austerity. The Democrats have controlled this city since the mid-50s. We're still in a crisis every day. You're here in Philly, take a tour, north, south, east, and west. Take a look around. The center city is really pretty, all these nice spaces, new hipster bars, great live music scene. I enjoy it. I lived here for 30 years. It's a great city. But get out in the neighborhoods and see what people have to deal with on a daily basis, with the trash on the streets, the potholes, their schools closing. Temple University now trying to build a stadium in the middle of North Philly while it's claiming it can't pay its own workers $15 an hour minimum wage. All right, so, and Democrats have presided over all this. We fought for the city to take a stand on the minimum wage here. We got locked up in city council. Democratic politicians held their hands, cried their crocodile tears, and said there's nothing they could do about it. They wouldn't even put it on a referendum for people to vote on in this city, even if it was symbolic. They were afraid of it. So that's where we're at.
This is Kit Cabello reporting at the Friends Center here at 1501 Cherry Street in Philadelphia. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Sure.
Is there any way we could find your website for your group, like any social media link?
Socialistalternative.org. Yep.
Thank you very much.
It says the estimates of the number of people who died prematurely because of exposure to particulate from burning fossil fuels has doubled.
Delegates from Washington State have been planning to walk out for a while, and particularly with the delegates from California. However, when the local vote was announced and they were going from state to state to state, and they finally arrived at the state of Vermont, and Bernie Sanders stopped the local vote and released the delegates for Hillary Clinton, it was a very passionate, a very emotional moment for all of us. And even without coordination, the delegates stood up and walked out, and we walked street with media at them, which part of us was able to enter before the police blocked the doors and surrounded us and sniped us on the roof, pointed on us. Inside the media tent, the delegates did a sit-in, and it was a sit-in protest of lack of democracy within the Democratic Party. From the outside, and I was one of them. It was very important for us to go to the media because, at DNC, no real business is conducted. Because giant PR campaign for the nominee, where each of the official representatives stands up and glorifies the nominee. So it was very important to break that cycle and show that the real revolution will not fall on its knees behind the corrupt candidate. We are standing strong, and I know we're continuing the revolution, and a lot of us are going to support Joe Stein. And those who don't will go back to their counties and work hard to support every single progressive candidate. I don't want to take much of your time. I can tell you that I was at the DNC today, and I was only able to tolerate 30 minutes of that. I'd rather be here with you real people. Real progressive ideas that will bring change to this country. This is what democracy looks like.